How about the first time I did this with code? I was like this. Went to have a drink and I was like,
it's nerve-wracking. It's just a conversation, but I'm nervous.
just do it for a thing. There we go. We can get a good thing of them. Bailey Humphrey. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for joining us on episode 4 of Chats with Rat. I know you're a very, very busy man, which we'll get into a bit later, but what's been happening? We'll start off.
No, bugger all. Just moved out of Powley's and into a new pad with some of the AFLW girls, and that's fun. So just been settling in quite well, and yeah, it's in a new good spot and in Palm Beach near you, actually.
Yeah.
So
you what was it? The application letter didn't come through, mate, but that's all right. I'll let it slide this time. But anyone else, any of the boys that wants to move in, they've got to the Prince of Palm Beach. It needs to come through. So yeah, right. How was the first 12 months with Powley?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, I went into a host family first, and I just didn't think that was for me. They were lovely and everything, and but I just thought to gain a bit of a more connection with the players, I thought I'd move in with Powley, and Powley and his girlfriend Baz are unbelievable, so they helped me a fair bit, which was good. And
they had to kick you out because you were in the nursery. Is that right?
Yes, that is very true. They kicked me out about 4 months early, but that's all right. I'll give them that. That's fair. They're having their first kid, so.
Any dirt on Powley? First 12 months? What's he like? No dirt. No dirt. What's he like to live with?
I think he's definitely he's got the same personality as me. We're like kind of.
What, boring as?
Yeah, very, very boring. But no, we're like little kids, so it's a bit weird. Like we would probably not really communicate by words. We would probably just make noises and stuff at each other. Yeah. Like it was a little bit barking and stuff going on. Like that sounds a bit weird, but it was pretty weird. But we made.
No, what do you mean? Like another language?
Do you know? Yeah, we kind of just made our own language up, and it was just all weird.
Like what?
What
would you say? How would you say that? If you asked what's for dinner?
That's a bit different, but it'd just be like if I walked in the door instead of asking how you going, you kind of just make a random noise and stuff at each other.
Yeah, what sort of noises?
I don't even know. I can't. It's hard to put on.
No, that's all good. So Powley's, and then you're in with a couple AFLW girls.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
I got kicked out of Powley, so I had real no notice of where I was going to live, and then we were going into the off season and stuff, so I was a bit stressed of where I was going to live. But the club said there was 3 girls looking for another housemate, and I just thought I hang out with blokes a fair bit, so it's pretty refreshing to get home to girls, and they're lovely, and it's been good so far. Yeah,
good change up, and I could imagine that everyone having similar interests in their fitness and everyone wanting to get the best out of themselves, it would help in that regard as well, being at home with another crew of athletes as well. Yeah,
exactly. One of them's probably more professional than I am, so they're doing the same stuff, obviously a little bit different, but there's not too many questions. Like living with kind of Powley, we're talking about training and stuff a fair bit. But yeah, the girls, it's a kind of different topic when we get home, so it's it's refreshing. Yeah,
and now after being here for 12 months, where did you move up from, and whereabouts is it for the people listening?
I moved up from Maui in Victoria. It's not one of the greatest towns, but it's a small country town in Victoria. It's a bit of fun, but it's well known for 2 things. The Collingwood bloke, that Collingwood bloke that's like, I'm from Maui, calm the pies. Him, and we have it's one of the top 10 murder cases in Australia in Jaden Lesky.
I'm not familiar with the case, but I've heard the name.
Yeah, it's I obviously don't want to go into it, but
is it still open or is it closed?
Nah, it's closed, I think, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's claim to fame.
Yeah,
two claim to fame at Maui.
Yeah.
Is there anything else going on there? Your mate's still back there, or what's the go? You got family back there?
Yeah, all my family and friends are still there. So every chance I can get to go home, I go home and see them. But I think I'm trying to convince some of my mates to move out of Maui because it's probably going to be the best thing for them.
Yes.
You kind of get stuck in the whole country like small town vibe and going to work and on the weekend just drinking beers and stuff, and like you play sport and stuff, and that's pretty much all it's country towns are like revolve around is footy on the weekends and working Monday to Friday and then beers on the weekends.
Yeah. Were you there your whole childhood?
I grew up in Maui and Newborough, which Maui and Newborough are very close, and then mum and dad separated, so mum moved to Traff. So I went to Draft's only 10 minutes up the road, and then moved there for a bit, and then now we're all back in Maui. So
yeah, nice. And now not much going on back there. I'm guessing just a local footy.
yeah, it's the same every time I go home. Like nothing changes. That's the downfall about Maui.
That's right. You got back there in the off season, didn't you, for a bit?
Yeah, I went home for probably too long, but it was good to see family and stuff and see my mates. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's right. You come back fit and firing, mate. So at least you got it done there. And then we spoke about your junior footy journey. So where did you play growing up? Was it just in Maui, and then obviously through the rep stuff, because you've really only been drafted for 13 months now, so it's still not too far removed.
Yeah, so I originally started in Newborough, which is only 2 minutes up the road. But I played some of my juniors there, and then Mum moved to Traff, so went and played some of my years at Traff from under 12s to 14s, and then went back to Newborough because Mum moved back. And then when you get to under 16s, Maui's the better league. So I moved to Maui in under 16s, and then stayed there until my draft year. Yeah,
and we were talking just before we went on air just about some trials and tribulations through your junior footy career before you got drafted. What you went pick 6? Pick 6, but before then you'd think someone going pick 6 it would all be quite cruisy, but you touched on, was it your under 17s you're getting overlooked in what team?
Yeah, so I got overlooked in Vic Country in my under 17s year, and to be honest, I was probably more talent than hard work, and that probably put it into perspective for me of how hard I actually needed to work to make the AFL. And so got overlooked in under 17s, worked my ass off to try and get as fit as I could, because that was probably always my feedback, was always my running and stuff. And then in my under 18s year, I got cut at the start of the year from Vic Country again, just because there was too many midfielders and wasn't good enough. And then played round 1 to 6 at Gippsland Power, did all right, I guess, and then unfortunately tore my meniscus in my under 18s year, and that obviously set me back for about 10 weeks, I think. So I missed a fair bit of footy, and then, to be honest, I thought my dream of playing AFL footy was over. And then I was lucky enough to come back from my knee injury and play some pretty good footy, and then it ended up going pretty well for me.
So you didn't play any Vic Country at all?
I played the last, so I played 2 games after my knee, and then I got a phone call from Vic Country because those 2 games were pretty good.
Yeah, so that's when you turned it on.
And then, that's when it all sort of started going for me, and then I got a phone call to play in the grand final for Vic Country versus Vic Metro.
Yeah, because to go pick 6, you wouldn't think that something like that would happen to you with not playing bottom age. It's usually the cush ride. There's usually the pillars. You go bottom age, All-Australian, potential bottom age, play all, maybe captain the second year, and then All-Australian again, and then you go top 10. So in those times, did you doubt yourself? What was going through your head there when you weren't getting picked in those sides only, 15 months ago? Yeah,
it was scary, to be honest. All I've ever wanted to do, obviously being from a small country town, footy's the main thing, so all I've ever wanted to do was play AFL. So I was, doubting myself that I wasn't good enough, and then I actually quit Gippsland Power in under 16s. I took a year off footy completely, and lucky enough it ended up being COVID, but to be honest, if I didn't take that year off, I wouldn't be here playing footy now, because I was just so mentally drained from it all, and it took a big toll on me. So I took the risk of taking a year off, hoping that it would help, and it was the best thing for me, and was lucky enough to just play in that year 3 games at Maui before COVID hit, and just playing with my mates, under 18s, nothing, no seniors, no nothing, and it was probably 3 games I'll never forget.
Yeah, and your first year in the system, mate, just now. So now we're here. You have a great first year. 18 games?
19, actually.
19? Just sorry, mate, cut you short there. Sorry. First year in the system, did anything catch you by surprise, and also what were the challenges there?
I don't think much caught me by surprise. Obviously, you go in and you know they work their ass off, all the lads and stuff. So I sort of knew what I was coming into. It was more the draft process that sort of scared me, not knowing where I was going to go. Sort of had an idea of coming to the Suns, and then on the night I thought Melbourne were going to trade up and take me, so I was a bit in. I sort of prepared myself 2 weeks before the draft to move to the Suns, sort of packed up all my stuff, hoping that the Suns would pick me, and then draft night Melbourne were going to trade up, and it was all a bit confusing and rattling, but I ended up at the Suns, and had a all right first year.
How would you describe yourself as a football player?
Yeah, I think I'd like to just say I'm a powerful contest player. I think that's what I pride myself in, as being sort of hard and powerful at the contest.
And 12 months in now with some of the, I'd say some of the stars of the competition that we've got in here, like what have you picked up anything off certain individuals within the facility?
I know this is probably a boring answer, but probably just like the professionalism and work rate sort of side of it all. Like I'm still trying to figure that out. Like I tried to have a pretty big off season to prepare myself, but still the likes of Took and Noz and all that, the way they run is just like ridiculous. Like I just watching them, I'm like, geez, they're just, and it's not just physical, it's all mental as well. So just working at that, but trying to pick up all the things that Took does. Obviously he's the ultra professional, so it's like pretty rare to be Took, but just picking up the little things that he does. I watch those boys a fair bit.
Yeah, with the first 12 months living with Powley, did he help you in the footy aspect?
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty hard on myself, so getting home from games and stuff or training and I wasn't happy about the way I played or the way I trained, he'd sort of just put me back in my box and just tell me how it is. Just say, mate, your first year you've played 3 games, like just take it easy on yourself and don't ride the wave and just sort of just cruise through. But he's sort of more helped me in the mental side of it outside of footy, just like being refreshing, just to gain the actual real connection. And I probably at the start called you as more footy mates, like not like didn't really hang out with you outside of footy. But I think moving in with Pelly is the best thing for me outside of footy, because I think I've gained a relationship with him for probably life now, I hope. And and then it's sort of strings on, like Pelly and like Butters are close, so moving in with him, then hanging out with like everyone kind of thing, like, so it was good.
Yeah, you mentioned you're quite hard on yourself on the field. You play such a confident game style. It wouldn't seem that. Like when you get into that spot, what's some of the stuff that actually like goes through your head? Let's say you're stewing on the couch. Like where do you go? I just like, depends if I play like I think really bad, and then I sit on the couch and I'm just like, I'd go back to that doubt sort of, like I'm like, oh, well, am I actually good enough for the AFL, or am I going to be a good VFL player then? And then I was just lucky enough that most of the coaching staff backed me in last year, and even if I had a bad game or got subbed out or something, they backed me in and picked me the next week as well. Yeah, for sure. It definitely come out in spades, mate. One thing that I find quite interesting, it seems like you're very process driven. Like you're in here early. For those at home, like what do you do? Like what's your process? You seem very meticulous and go about it a different way. Like do you have a routine? Do you have superstitions?
Before training or like before games, do you mean, or both?
Both.
I have 2 superstitions. I have the same pair of budgie smugglers I wear on game day. I don't wear them at training, but they're rubber ducky budgie smugglers. I've worn them for the last 3 years, and they're getting to the end of their time.
Did you leave them in the showers the other day?
Nah, they weren't mine. Nah, they had drawstrings in them. I think they were daisies.
They've been on my hook now for like the last week.
I think
I need them gone. They're crusty as.
Nah, Colo asked me if they were mine, but they weren't mine.
What about training?
Training, I just like to have a spa and an ice bath before training, before prep and stuff. And I'm not big on, like, I have to do a lot of recovery. I get sore real easy and real quick. So if I don't do my recovery, I probably won't get up for training or games. So I focus on recovery a fair bit. Yeah.
And what I have noticed is you like your alone time and in your process, and hence why getting away from the boys is something that you've consciously done, and living with a few of the AFLW players. How would you describe yourself as a person?
I think I'm a very caring person. Like I like my alone time, but I like to think that if anyone's got a like feeling shit, that they can come to me and talk to me. I'd like to say I'm caring. I'm not very funny, but
you're funny in your own way.
Yeah, funny in my own way. Like as you said, I like my own space, so I do my own sort of stuff. But then when it comes to people that I'm comfortable around, that it's pretty easy going for me and pretty free flowing. So it's a hard question. Like I think caring is the one that I like, and I think I'm pretty honest as well.
Yeah, well, we'll touch on that caring part. You're a ambassador for Mindful Australia, which specialises in mental health support.
Yep. Around small country towns, schools and footy and all stuff like that.
Yeah, so How about we touch on how that come about, mate? So how'd your mental health journey start? You mentioned also when you were 16 taking some time off footy and stuff like that. So how did that all come about?
Yeah, so I've suffered a little bit of anxiety and depression since probably the age of 13 or 14. Don't know really how it came about, just sort of started feeling shit and struggled for about 2 years on my own, not saying much, and then ended up getting too bad where I needed to talk to someone, and I happened to not be a professional, which obviously professional helps out there and it's great, but for some people that works and for others it doesn't. So I just talked to my mum and she helped heaps, and talking to my mate and then, it slowly got easier, and I ended up going to see a professional just to get another kind of view on it all and stuff like that. And then in 2021, I lost my best mate to suicide. And then that all sort of kickstarted my mental health again, sort of obviously went through a dark phase there and stuff like that. But now I just kind of trying to use my platform in the AFL as like awareness for it. So like talking about it heaps. And I think that's like the greatest strength someone could have is talking about how they feel, whether it's good or bad. Like, it just goes through phases of where you need to talk about it, but a lot of people, especially men, like obviously men, it's a stigma that around like being weak to talk about your feelings. So I think, I'm just trying to drive that. If you talk about it, it'll slowly make you feel better, whether it's not the first time you talk about it, but it could be the 10th time you talk about it where you start to feel better. But just trying to make people feel like they can actually talk about how they feel.
Yeah, thanks for that, mate. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. 13 years old, if you can think back that far and how you felt, there was obviously anxiety and depression. What does that look like? How does that come across out of a 13-year-old? Because to me, that just seems so young. Yeah,
to be honest, I had no idea how I was like what was going on with me. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was never good at school, so I didn't like school. There was some times where I even struggled to even just go to the supermarket. Like I didn't want to leave the house. To be honest, it was just kind of more just real mentally drained, tired. I didn't want to talk to people because I had a lot of self-doubt, didn't know what people thought of me. And then when I left the house, like it's just all mental, like someone's not even looking at you, but you think they are. And it's kind of just like, what are they thinking about you and stuff like that. And I just didn't like who I was as a person at the age of 13. And I know that sounds real young, but to be honest, I didn't really know what I was feeling or why it was happening.
When you say you didn't like yourself as a person at 13, it might be too hard to think of the specifics, mate, but if you could, like, what didn't you like? What did you not think you were adequate? Was it looks? Was it weight? Was it?
It was a bit of everything, to be honest. Like, I just didn't like the way like I looked, or I was always I went through like a phase of like, I think when you're in like a small country town, I was always good at footy. Like everyone kind of looked up to me, but it was like, and then I went through like a phase of like being like arrogant and that's such a young age to be arrogant. You've got nothing to really be arrogant about. And and then I figured out that it was a shit look, and and then I went through the phase of like, shit, that's what people think of me now. And like, that's, to this day, I hate if someone calls me arrogant. That's the last thing I ever want to be known as is arrogant. So, it was kind of just like the way I don't know, approached people viewed me.
So it kind of like doubled down. You were trying to be someone like come out of yourself, but then it like doubled down with what they thought.
Yeah.
And then getting to 15 and stuff, when all the football stuff starts to really ramp up, like how did footy help, or was it just kind of everything you were doing would just kind of tick yourself off?
Yeah, that was like the major problem for me. It was like footy was my outlet for so long. Like I'd go to footy and I'd forget about how I felt for 2 hours, however long you trained. But it got to a stage where I was sitting at the back of drills, like nearly in tears. Like I didn't know why I was like that. So like I got to the stage of where footy wasn't the outlet anymore, and then everything sort of started crumbling down on me. And
Mm.
that's when I needed to sort of talk about it.
Yeah. So at that stage, you were just had your friendship good, like internal. You hadn't sought out any professional help then.
No, had no. I just sort of talked to my mates, and I was lucky enough that some of my mates have probably like experienced it themselves as well. So I sort of just talked to them, and it was new to everyone. Like a 13-year-old, 14 or 15-year-old kid going to their mate and talking about how they feel is like, it's weird. Like I think even to this day, like a 15-year-old, if he's talking to another 15-year-old, he's probably they don't even understand what they're feeling and stuff. So that's where I'm trying to like create like the whole mental health side of it all. Like no matter what you feel, whether you think it's small or big, like it's worth talking about.
Yeah. Did you feel, as you just mentioned, then your mates at that age back then, before there was as much, for lack of a better word, publicity around mental health and how much it can help, and speaking out, like that your mates actually knew what to do or what to say?
Well, they didn't really. They just kind of tried to support me, and it was a lot of more like turning it, like not turning mental health into funny, but like making me laugh, like, and bringing like the friendship side of it out. So like if I was feeling shit, they'd try and like, you know, when you got a baby and it starts crying and it's just like, oh wow, like trying to like make it like stop crying by like making it laugh or something. That was kind of like what it was. It was just like trying to like get around each other and just like sort of turn it into like the friendship side of it all. But yeah, they got it, and like they understood what I was kind of feeling. But yeah, I was just lucky enough that they didn't like take it as a bad way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Do you feel like it helped?
Yeah, it definitely helped. And then it got to the stage where it was too bad, and that wasn't like helping. Like it was helping, but it wasn't helping enough. So and then that's when I had to like talk to my mum, and then it sort of ended it all up, going to get the kind of professional help.
Yeah. And what does that look like? It's a similar thing that you go and say, these are the symptoms I'm experiencing. This is what brings it on.
Yeah, and like some things in mental health, it's not like certain things that like sometimes it's certain things that tick it off, or sometimes you can just wake up and feel like shit. So the best thing that my mum did for me was she didn't actually say anything. Like she just like used to like listen to me. And then at the end, she'd just kind of give me like a big hug and tell me that she's here for me. So it's like, it's kind of just like a vent. Like I just sat down like me and you are right now and having a chat. And then at the end, she kind of just gave me a hug and said, we'll sort this out and we'll make sure you're all right.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need someone to listen, hey, as opposed to answers, just listen to a big emotional dump and then get to where you want to get to as a group.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful that I've got people like that around me now.
Yeah. And then, so at what age were you when you lost your best mate?
I was 16, I think, or 17. Yeah, 16.
Were you still battling with all this, or were you kind of in the clear and then this tragic thing has happened to your best mate?
Yeah, I kind of just, that's the sort of thing about mental health. It kind of never goes away. Like it comes and goes. And before that, it was just I was going through a good patch actually, and together, like he was kind of my outlet as well. Like I talked to him and he talked to me about how he felt, and yeah, it kind of become like I thought we were both in a good way, and then yeah, it just all sort of hit at once.
And then after losing your mate, then so obviously a massive crucial time in your, is that the year you had off? Is that the 12 months you had off?
No, that was the year after.
That was the year after. So then you've taken 12 months to deal with all this, and then this happens at a crucial time with your football and stuff. Like where the obvious, but where were you at afterwards?
Oh yeah, I went through like a month of probably like I reckon 2 weeks of not leaving my room or leaving the house. I didn't go to school. And yeah, as you said, it's in a crucial time of schooling and footy and stuff like that. So yeah, I struggled for probably about a month, and then kind of got to the stage where it's like kind of just carry on his legacy. Like you still feel shit every day about it all. And but yeah, it's just like I tried to just like make him proud every day and like carry on what he brought to the country town of Maui.
That's awesome, mate. And then obviously now coming into the professional world of football, like do you still seek help actively? Are you with a pro? Are you is it still your mate network? Like, how does the support fluctuate now that you're a bit older?
Yeah, like I still seek help, still seek my friendship and my family's support. And to be honest, I use my mates that took his own life, his parents, and like I know that's not, so kind of sounds weird because they're obviously struggling with that themselves still, but they're amazing people, and they, no matter how much I'm struggling or they're struggling, like they're still willing to help. And it's kind of gone, at the start I was like, I don't want to put anything on them, but now, they're just like great. They're great support for me. So I talk to them, talk to old footy coaches still that I've had growing up, school teacher and footy coach. But I am going to still do professional help as well. Not so often, but just every now and then when I am feeling a little bit down in the dumps.
Yeah, awesome. And how does Mindful Australia, did you use them? Did you use Mindful Australia when you were back in the country town of Maui?
No, I actually didn't know about them before.
Yeah.
And then once, Riley took his life, they sort of came to his family, and now Mindful Australia and his family have such a great relationship. And then his family brought me into it, and then it turned out that they wanted me to kind of be an ambassador for them. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, cool. And what's some of the sort of stuff that you do with them? I've seen you on the socials and stuff with them and given a chat and stuff like that, but have you actively helped any of their country people that may need help?
No, not of yet. That's something that I'm going to be doing. Obviously it's hard to get back for footy, so off season mainly, but I went to their gala ball and stuff like that, and such a cool experience working with like a mental health, like a job like that. Like some of the people in there are very cool and such amazing people.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate. No, thanks so much for sharing all that. I know it's something that you're passionate about and carrying on Riley's legacy there, mate, and that you're doing him proud. So thank you very much for that. And now what makes you happy? What gets you out of that, apart from talking and getting all the adequate help? Like, what actually gets you in the zen?
I think I like the simple things of life. Like I like going for a walk, going to get a coffee, and just stuff like that. Like housemates have a dog now, so we walk them in the mornings before training and stuff like that. Just little things. I'm not big on doing heaps of stuff, but just the little things.
Coffee's interesting. I only live around the corner, mate. My number hasn't changed since you got to the club and I sent a welcome message.
Yes. We'll definitely catch up for a coffee.
Yeah, thanks. I don't want your token invite now. I'll just put you on the hook though. I'm only around the corner. Mate, stickers.
Yeah, I'm covered now. I'm a different person to last year. I've transformed.
Bad to the bone, bad boy Bales.
Yeah. There's plenty more to come, but I've just finally finished off my right sleeve. My first one was my calf and shin, and then I had some little ones before, like everyone does, kind of. But then now once you get one, it's kind of really addictive.
What have you gone for?
I've gone for like a girl theme, and that sounds pretty average, but I reckon it looks kind of cool.
What do you mean a girl theme?
Well, there's a girl on my forearm.
Oh, right. Not like right. Okay.
And then a girl on my shoulder, and then there's an angel on the inside of my bicep and a rose on the outside of my forearm.
And your leg? You've got the calf and shin job there.
Yeah, that one kind of turns back to my best mate, so I've got a tattoo for him. So
yeah, nice. And what's on the cards?
I think obviously got to wait now because the season's coming up. But
do you?
Yeah, you can't get tattooed. Well, you can, but it's a risk because of scans and stuff. Just in case you need a scan, it's could burn or something.
You've already done all the due diligence there. You can't get one. Definitely can't get one.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but we can definitely. Little ones are fine, but it's just like the big ones that.
What little ones do you have? You said little ones, like everyone's got them. I don't have a little one.
I've got a matching dinosaur with my mum on my ankle, and then I've got Such Is Life up on.
There it is. I was waiting for it.
So, I actually met Ben Cousins, so that was pretty cool. And
did you show him?
Got to show him my tattoo. So
what do you reckon?
Yeah, he was pretty happy with it, to be honest.
You're joking?
No, not joking at all. But it's not as big as his, but he was pretty happy with it.
Was that you paying your respects to Benny C?
Yeah, loved him growing up. So
had to.
Yeah, I had to.
There's a couple they're not quite tats. Just spotted them in the shower, just something on one of the cheeks, mate.
Yeah, so in the off season, went home to a couple of my mates and had a few beers, and things went a little bit south, and my mates put a pole in the fire and burnt my bum, so it kind of looks like there's tattoos on my bum now. But I wanted the Olympic rings, and
I was going to say that.
my mate put them upside down, so I've just got a heap of loops all over my bum.
I was going to say, it looks like someone's trying to tattoo the Olympic rings on your ass on the piss, and that's actually what's happened.
Yes, that's the story.
Oh, so what else is actually on the cards?
I think I'll eventually get my chest done, whether it's my whole chest and then my other arm. I'm not really sure yet. I think a lot of people find it strange that I don't think about it too much.
Seems like there's a fair bit of thought that's gone into them, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's been since the season, how many months? So, and I've come back and I've got a sleeve and half a leg sleeve. So I think a lot of people find it quite weird that it's just happened like that. But I don't really think too much about things. So
a lot of people are saying that it's just to get one of Dimmer's favourite players that may have worn the number 4 at the Tigs across the line. Just a little likeness, similar role, I've heard.
Oh, yeah, and that's the annoying part. Is Dusty the only one that's allowed to have tattoos, is he? But, that's what people have been giving me stick about, so I'll just take that in my stride.
You're going to go full body eventually?
Nah, I don't think I won't get my stomach. I might get my back, whether it's full or a fair bit of my back, but I'll leave my legs now, and then it'll kind of just be my other arm and my chest, no stomach, and then maybe back.
Don't want to draw attention to the guts, do you?
Nah, it takes all the definition away from your body, so.
Eyes up.
Eyes up, yeah, definitely.
Mate, season 2024, year 2, what do we expect from B. Humphrey? If you say play my role.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
If you say play my role, you're out.
No, I think I've had a pretty big off season, so I've worked pretty hard on my fitness. So I think that was the main thing. If I worked on my fitness, my game could go to another level, being able to cover the ground a little bit better. So I think, covering the ground and hopefully kicking a bit more goals and getting a little bit more midfield time as well.
Most certainly, mate. I reckon you've got it in you. I was thinking on the tat front, I'll let you come up with a fair number of goals and goal assists. I'm thinking 40.
Combined.
So you can kick 30 snags and 10 direct goal assists.
Yeah, yep.
And you can give me a daisy tattoo for my daughter.
For your
just
daughter,
a little daisy.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it, you got to get a chats with rat tattoo.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds good. But I'd get the chats with rat tattoo anyway.
No, don't say that.
But it's true.
Just say you wouldn't dare get it, and then you've got to get it for this.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll do that then. If I 40 plus, I'll take that.
All right. So for all the rat pack out there, they can keep tabs on it.
Yep.
And they can keep the numbers coming in, and then we can get that done.
How big do you want it? Where do you want it?
How big do I want the chats with rat tattoo on you?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to stitch up too bad.
No,
mate.
you can stitch me
up.
It
it's a bum cheek job. It's not anywhere.
You can't cover me Olympic rings.
Maybe actually, I'm gonna be doing you a favour and getting a chats with rat tattoo over the Olympic rings on the piss.
Oh yeah, I'll actually take that. So
perfect. And we'll just go like a little daisy like that on the other hand, on the other side, maybe on the ankle.
Yep.
And there you go. And mate, so you've got a passion for art.
Yep.
We didn't want to go too deep on this, but inspired by Cody Waitman from the Doggies, you like some of the stuff he does. Talk me through that.
Yeah, so I think Cody's pretty cool. He's a
cool guy.
Yeah, cool guy. So does art and stuff, and all through school I kind of was never smart or anything like that. I'm pretty definitely not the sharpest tool in the shed. And
smart.
No, in some ways, but
smart.
And then so I liked a bit of art and stuff like that through school, and on the planes when we were traveling to games and stuff last year, I did a little bit of drawing, and so nothing too special. I'm not that good, but I'm hoping to do a couple of big pieces soon, and hopefully they turn out pretty well.
What do you go for? I'm not so arty myself. Is it like cartoony? Is it I don't even know. Landscapes, nature? What do you go for?
Oh, some of a cartoon, and I'm hoping to do a little bit more realism stuff.
What's realism?
Oh, or just more like say I'm drawing you right now, sitting here talking to me like
six pack.
Yes.
Everything chiseled.
Yeah, chiseled.
Everything like guns.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like you sitting there and I'm just drawing you. So it's like realistic.
Is there any, are you doing any qualification stuff outside footy at the minute? I know the footy, balance, outside world, all those sorts of things, they're big on that, or at the minute are you just chilling, making sure the main thing's the main thing at the minute?
Yeah, I'm kind of cruising at the moment, but I think I might do a couple of like short courses of, I don't know, barber or something like that. Benny Maybon downstairs, he's trying to get onto me about doing some. So I'm thinking about, maybe a short course of barbering or something like that.
Well, on that, give us a squeeze at the salad. Talk me through, you had the Moe mullet.
Yeah.
And now you've gone for, give us a look.
Yeah.
You've gone for the short back and side, semi-model spec, half spike up.
Well,
talk us through it's been a huge brand change over the offie. Gone from the full-blown country mullet with all the wax, the slick back at every occasion, to short back and sides.
Well, yeah.
I don't even know what it's called, leg sleeve into arm sleeve. Talk us through that. It's strategic brand change for mine.
Well, yeah. So now I've got like trying to get like the fresh fade on the sides and the back and trying to grow it out a little bit. So it's in like a little bit of an awkward stage where the backs doesn't come over as much as the front. But so when I had the mullet, I went to a barber and I went in there and I wanted just a trim and a bit of a fade on the sides as well. And the barber goes to me, he's like, "What do you want today?" And I was like, "Oh, just a trim and a bit of a," and he's like, "Oh, I don't know how to cut long hair." And I was like, "Oh, so what do I do?" Like, it's either I walk out or I just get a haircut, and that he can do. And I just went for the buzz.
So you'd actually planned on going in and like just trimming up the mullet.
Yeah.
And then you've come out Derek Zoolander, just like.
Well, I kind of always wanted to do a buzz, but I never had the confidence to because like it's a big risk. Your head could be a shocking shave. But so I went in and I was like, "Yeah, just a trim." And he's like, "Oh, I don't really know how to cut long hair." So I had to sort of just either walk out and say, "Oh, no, don't worry about it," or get the salad cut off.
No, it's good. You lent in, mate. Word on the street is that you may have or want to dip the toe into a bit of modelling. Talk me through this.
Yeah, I do a little bit. Like, I think
you do a little bit of modelling, or
I do want to do a little bit of modelling, whether it's actual like at a modelling agency or
as in like face modelling or hand, feet.
Nah, definitely not hand or feet. Like full body. Like I like fashion, so I think I know like a vintage kind of modelling stuff like that, or nothing like Calvin Klein in my jocks or anything, because I'd cop a lot of stick from the boys and there'd be a lot of meat trays.
You got it, flaunt it, mate.
Yeah, I guess. But I like fashion, so hoping to do a little bit.
Do you know a good one? Ben King's mother, I think, owns Vivian Models. We could be on here.
Yeah, we could be.
We could be on here.
That's the first thing. That's the first time I've heard of that.
Yeah, we'll tee that up. I reckon we. Actually, I don't have Kingy's mum's number, which is a great thing, but we will tee that up. Yeah, it's probably a good thing that I don't have Kingy's mum's number, so that's great. We will tee that up. When you say fashion, like what inspired that? Because I could only imagine that didn't come from Moe. You would have been cruising around with the flat peaks and the billabongs and the rip kills back then.
And the tight jeans. No, I don't really know. I think once I got out of Moe, I sort of got into earning a lot more money, obviously. So I've never had money. So, I think I just had a little bit of money. So I wanted to look after myself and go splurge on myself. And it happened to be shoes at the start. And then I bought a lot, got too many shoes now. So it's all just about clothes now, like T-shirts and shorts and stuff, where they're trying to go a little bit more different and unique now. I've sort of went the Gold Coast kind of look, the baggy shorts and the baggy T-shirts, but I'm hoping to, venture out into a little bit of
Alfred's hat on, mate.
Yeah, I know. You've hooked me up here and I rate it.
And mate, Goldie, you've been here for, 14 months now? What do you reckon?
Me goal?
No, you've been on the Goldie for 14 months now. What do you reckon of the coast? How does it differentiate from home? Could you see yourself in a big city? Like, what's the go?
Oh, it's a lot different to Moe. But yeah, I love it. It's obviously signed on now, so I'm here for a while. Here till I'm 32 years old.
Yeah, signed till death.
Yeah, signed till meat age. But I think it's my style. It's not too big of it's not like Melbourne. It's like a massive city, but beach. I'm not like a massive beach person. Like can't sit at the beach for hours and stuff like that. But I like going for a dip and then getting a coffee and walking home. Obviously, as I said that before, but yeah, it's just quiet. It's a bit relaxing, to be honest.
No, it's good, mate. Well, I think we'll leave it at that. With your Mindfulness Australia or Mindful Australia stuff, is there anything that you would encourage people of your age when you went through that to do?
I think, as I said, a fair bit, and that's like, I think most of my things that I say, or like to the media or whatever, that when I do talk about it is like you talk about it like it's not weak to kind of speak, and I think it's getting a lot better that men are talking about it a lot more, and yeah, so I think just it's a hard thing at the start, but once you overcome it the first time, it's a lot easier going forward. So I think once you can sort of build up to talking about it the first time, it's definitely a lot easier.
Awesome, mate. Nuss, appreciate so much for sharing it. Takes a lot of courage, as you just said, and I'm sure a lot of people out there will get a heap out of that, seeing someone in your position that's on the tally all the time, struggling with stuff that everyday people struggle with, mate, and people back home. So thanks so much for sharing.
No, thank you very much for letting me share it. I appreciate it.
All good, mate. Welcome back anytime.
Thank you very much.